Okay, so I am going to start from scratch. So this is part 2 of creating shapes and selecting things in Photopea. So this is how we open a new project. I'm going to change this to inches and make sure it's 17 inches by 11 inches. And I'm actually going to make this 150. Let's make it 180 just for today. It should be 300, but I don't want it to be overwhelming my computer. Let's do view, fit the area, and minimize the layers. Now I want to open my inspiration board. So I downloaded it to my computer already, and I'm going to open it in a separate window so I can use one of the pictures in it as something to trace. So when I use just plain open, I actually have both images open separately. Now using the rectangle select, I'm going to select one of these little, I'm going to use this little mushroom here, and Control C will copy it. And I'm going to go back to my new project and look at the layers. I'm going to make a transparent background and add a layer for my mushroom. So I'm going to click on the name, mushroom, and I'm going to hit Control V. That pastes it. Now I'm going to use the move tool, and I'm going to resize it. So I'm going to move it all the way to the top, hold the shift key down, and I'm going to pull to make it larger so I can work with it. Now, if I use the magic wand tool, the problem is it will select only parts of it, and that might be a little too tricky for me right now. I want to do this faster. So I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool, and I'm going to follow around the edges just like I did with the leaf shapes. As you're doing this, just make sure that where it's a little less clear, you'll see the line not following where you want it. You're going to click more in those areas. So where there's something out of focus or something almost like you might call it, it's like distracting to the tool. And I have the feathered edge set at 2 so that it's a little softer than if it were set to 0. Now when I get to the end and click the last square, it should automatically select what I put my lasso around. Now, I can delete everything around it by inverting my selection. So I'm going to do that by either going to select inverse, or I can do that by pressing Control Shift I and pressing delete. If you don't need anything else in the image, that's a great way to isolate the piece that you want to work with. Now I still have it selected, but I'm going to press it again. Control Select I. Now instead of the whole area around it, I have the mushroom selected again. Now go to Layer, New, Layer via Copy. So that you still have your mushroom, your original mushroom there. So this is a mushroom 2. I always like to have like a backup plan. Now I'm going to use the lasso, the magic wand tool again, but this time I'm just going to press on the empty space. So that's selecting everything around my image. Use the invert tool again, Control Shift I to only select your object. Now I'm going to go down here to the gradient tool, and it's already set to this like funky color that I made yesterday, but you can change this to anything you want. So I'm going to change it. Let's make it like purples. I want to do this one. Okay, and you're going to select each box and then click the color. It might be too dark. I'm going to use like super bright colors. I didn't finish editing it, so now I can slide around the boxes to decide how much of each color I want. And then when I'm happy with that, for now I'm happy, I'm going to leave it. Go to the, now you can decide linear will make more, experiment with the kinds. Now my mushroom is selected. When I use the gradient tool inside the shape, it will fill it with my colors. There. Now I'm going to redo that and move down. Now I want my colors to look a little different. I'm actually going to take one of these out and move these down and make this a little more of a dramatic contrast. I'm going to make it like really bright and light at the top and darker at the bottom. Let's try that again. I like that better, but I want the gradient to take up more. Okay, well, now you can also do radial, which will make more of a circle. Oh, that's actually really cool. I like that one. So you can experiment. You can also experiment with what it looks like if you change the layer blend mode. Apparently it doesn't make a big difference. Okay, so now this would be how you create a shape that you can include in your image. So let's deselect. So this is my original mushroom and this is my super colorful shape mushroom. So try that out with a shape, something of your own that you can trace and then fill with a gradient. And I'm going to show you how we use these to piece together our pictures in the next video.